Okay, so today I'm going to talk about my just current understandings of what I think Eros love means and kind of its importance in a relationship. Now, this is just coming from my current perspective, which is due to change at any time. I realize and recognize that everything is experience, and that is what we have to go by as our personal experience in life. So from my personal experience, what I am finding that I treasure the most, just from my life lessons, from what I've seen in other people, from what I've seen in other relationships being created and then dissolving, or, staying firm and staying true, whatever happens, what I have seen is that there's a deeper love I personally feel than Eros love, called eternal love. It's a love when you've reached a certain point, I guess, of understanding that, there is an afterlife, there is something to look forward to after this experience in a human body. And it is just grace. It is eternal comfort and eternal love, where our souls remember each other, we remember who we are again. At least this is my personal understanding, of what happens after you die. And I believe that is more important than what we define Eros love as being, because, again, I could be wrong. I'm going to say this over and over again in this video. I'm just coming to some realizations about relationships lately. It feels like Eros love is a very temporary thing. It's something like infatuation, for instance, is something that is temporarily satisfying, to feel these feelings and just to have your whole world filled up with, the feelings of romanticizing about another. And what I noticed, though, except for very few cases, those feelings seem to pass in time. And, unfortunately, in this world and society we live in, we tend to see people getting cheated on, or, finding out more difficult realizations about themselves or one another, and then those feelings kind of dissipate. I don't think people really learn to handle it rationally. Like, if you do lose those feelings, I personally believe that's a rational thing that is happening in one's reality. Now, this doesn't pertain to anything I'm trying to talk about on a personal level. I'm just observing many people's relationships as to how they rise, as to how they fall. And what I think is really important is to kind of develop an eternal love with the relationship with the souls that we surround ourselves with. Whereas Eros love is beautiful, it is temporary, and it can consume your entire being. And, I don't want to talk about it as if it's a negative thing. It's a part of love. It's a form of love. But what I think is important to note is that the eternal love, the everlasting love that you find in your heart for another soul, the nurturing, the comfort of what I call Mother, Father, God, I believe is so important, to have in your heart. And then to be able to connect with people who have that in their heart is more gratifying on a friendship level or on a relationship level than just the romantic side of love. Now, I do admit I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to Eros love, just because I've seen a lot in my day, not just in my personal life, but in others' lives. So I'm a little bit of a skeptic, and this is probably just a process I'm going through. But I think that probably the most beautiful love you could have would be a combination of that eternal love with the Eros love. But the Eros may come and go for both people or one person, who is to say. Those are just my thoughts of the day, so namaste.